That now. Just give him all the money. Give him all the money. Oh, man. Angel Reese fans, big mad. Chicago Sky fans, big mad. Because we got ourselves a little pre-expansion draft trade involving the Chicago Sky. However, there's a little addendum to this.
Give that general manager absolutely all the money. Just hand them a blank check right now. That is exactly what you heard buzzing around the WNBA rumor mill this week. And if you closely followed the absolute disaster that was the Chicago Sky's 2025 season, that statement should make absolutely zero logical sense to you. We are talking about a professional basketball team that went an agonizing 10-34 last year. They finished with the second worst record in the entire league, possessed a historically horrific defense, and looked completely lost on the hardwood. And yet, on April 1st, their front office executed a series of massive, highly expensive trades, specifically designed to permanently protect their current roster from the upcoming expansion draft. They didn't hit the reset button. They didn't initiate a massive rebuild. They actively paid a premium to legally protect a roster that just lost 34 games. But the bizarre front office behavior didn't stop there. On that exact same day, the Sky proudly announced their promotional theme nights for the 2026 season. Pride Night made the cut. Something incredibly generic called Chicago Neighbors Night made the list. But the one highly specific theme directly connected to their single most marketable, globally recognized superstar was completely, inexplicably absent. And the internet reaction was absolutely nuclear.
What is funny, however, is the fact that Chicago felt anybody on their roster was worth protecting. I mean, that's the story here. Is that all right? Yeah, I think it's a good day for business. It was April Fool's, and this shit was for real. Angel Reese on the Chicago Sky. Yeah, we all know them houses that's got the nice cars, but the house looks like it should be condemned. We all know. Seriously, making trades to keep a squad together that went, check notes, 10-34.
To truly understand the sheer absurdity of what is happening in Chicago, we have to break down the actual mechanics of this pre-expansion draft heist. The Chicago Sky officially reached backroom agreements with both of the incoming expansion teams, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. The deal was simple. In exchange for a massive haul of draft picks, neither expansion franchise would select absolutely anyone from Chicago's unprotected player list. But the actual cost of this protection was completely staggering. The Sky willingly traded away their highly coveted number 5 overall first-round pick, their number 21 second-round pick, and their number 32 pick. In return, they received late second-round scraps, the 17th pick from Portland and the 26th pick from Toronto. In a league with only 12-player rosters, where elite top 5 draft capital is the absolute lifeblood of a struggling franchise, Chicago literally mortgaged their future. And they did it entirely for the privilege of keeping a group of players that other teams likely wouldn't have even drafted for free.
Themed games. And I thought this might have been April Fool's until I really started looking and thought, nah, they're not going to throw women's cancer awareness and Juneteenth. Now, it would be funny. Juneteenth, it'd be funny. But they didn't. So, opening night, women's cancer awareness, world culture. Juneteenth. Okay. Pride night. Sneaker and fashion.
The reaction from professional basketball analysts and the devoted fan base was swift, unforgiving, and brutally honest. One viral comment perfectly captured the absolute disbelief echoing across social media. Making trades to keep a squad together that went 10-34. Nobody has been fired. Blatant money laundering. Another frustrated fan asked the most obvious, glaring question of the entire offseason. Which basketball player on this roster are you actually trying to protect? That is the terrifying root of the issue here. This massive sacrifice of draft capital wasn't about fiercely protecting a proven, championship-caliber core. The Sky absolutely do not possess a championship core. If you look closely at the cold, hard numbers, Chicago finished 13th out of 12 teams in several advanced metrics last season. They were routinely outscored by a brutal average of 8 points per game, and their defensive rating was statistically the worst in the entire WNBA. Angel Reese put up historic, mind-bending rebounding numbers as a rookie, but the team's abysmal win-loss record proved that individual statistics cannot overcome a fundamentally broken roster. They desperately needed a complete, top-to-bottom overhaul, not an expensive insurance policy to protect them from change.
Where is Barbie Night? Question mark. Barbie Night? We go to games because of Angel. Don't forget what happened last game. Let's see what this little dog's doing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Please let this mean you're trading Angel Reese. No Barbie Night. I hope this is a sign that Angel will finally be free from y'all. I'm so glad I didn't buy season tickets again this year.
And just when fans thought the front office couldn't possibly be any more disconnected from reality, the official 2026 promotional schedule dropped. Fans immediately started frantically scanning the calendar for the highly anticipated Barbie Night. It simply wasn't there. Opening night secured a theme. Women's cancer awareness received necessary recognition. Juneteenth rightfully made the schedule. They even creatively engineered something called Sneaker and Fashion Night, which seems perfectly custom-tailored for a player whose entire global brand revolves heavily around high-end style and glamorous presentation. But there was absolutely no mention of Barbie Night. And if you paid any attention at all to Angel Reese's explosive rookie season, you deeply understand exactly why that specific omission is pure marketing malpractice. She leaned incredibly heavily into the Chai Barbie persona. The signature pink outfits, the glamorous pregame tunnel walks, the custom eyelashes, her entire multi-million-dollar aesthetic was brilliantly built around that specific brand. Her fiercely loyal fans literally call themselves the Barbies. Chicago knew this. They had an entire season of undeniable empirical evidence showing exactly what resonated with her massive fan base and drove ticket sales. Yet they completely ignored it. The social media response to this promotional blunder revealed something far deeper and much darker than just simple disappointment over a missing theme night. Fans immediately started connecting the alarming dots. No Barbie Night, combined with highly questionable roster protection trades, equals what, exactly? The comments were absolutely savage. One user brutally stated, "I hope this is a sign that Angel will finally be free from y'all." Another longtime supporter publicly declared, "I'm so glad I didn't buy season tickets again this year. Y'all really don't know what you're doing. Also, fire the GM." This wasn't just temporary outrage over one missing promotional t-shirt. It represented the boiling over of deep frustration regarding a consistent, undeniable pattern of massive organizational dysfunction. When your absolute most loyal, ticket-buying supporters are actively publicly praying that your franchise superstar leaves for a competent organization, you have completely, undeniably lost the plot. We have to remember that this current nightmare is happening to a franchise that is not far removed from ultimate glory. This is the exact same organization that fielded an absolute super team and secured a WNBA championship in 2021. That legendary roster featured Candace Parker, Kalia Copper, Courtney Vandersloot, and Allie Quigley. But within 3 incredibly short years, absolutely all of them were completely gone. Parker retired, Copper was heavily traded to Phoenix, and Vandersloot and Quigley walked away in free agency. The Chicago Sky violently plummeted from celebrated champions to a disorganized lottery team in absolute record time. And the current front office decisions heavily suggest that they genuinely believe raw star power alone will magically fix their deeply rooted systemic problems. It absolutely will not. Look at the blueprint of actual championship organizations. The Las Vegas Aces secured back-to-back titles with the generational dominance of A'ja Wilson, but they also intelligently surrounded her with Chelsea Gray masterfully running the offense, Kelsey Plum lethally spacing the floor, and Jackie Young providing elite two-way versatility. The New York Liberty strategically built a super team around Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones, but they heavily prioritized adding Courtney Vandersloot for elite playmaking and Betnijah Laney Hamilton for lockdown defense. Legitimate championship teams desperately need significantly more than just one highly marketable star grabbing rebounds. By aggressively trading away the incredibly valuable number 5 overall pick, the Sky completely eliminated their easiest, most cost-effective path to actual improvement. They could have used that premium draft capital to finally secure a dynamic point guard who can actually orchestrate an offense. They could have aggressively targeted a lethal three-point shooter to heavily space the floor around Reese's dominant interior presence. Instead, they panicked, surrendered a potential franchise cornerstone, and settled for late second-round picks that historically rarely even make an active WNBA roster. The most logical, terrifying explanation for all of this is that the Chicago Sky front office simply does not actually understand what they currently possess. They clearly see Angel Reese as a highly talented rebounder who organically draws massive media attention. But they haven't even begun to figure out how to intelligently maximize her global marketability, let alone how to structurally build a winning basketball team around her unique skill set. This is a massive, unforgivable failure of organizational vision. It is the exact same catastrophic failure that let Candace Parker walk away. The exact same failure that resulted in a humiliating 10-win season. And now, they are fully committed to running that exact same disastrous experiment back for another agonizing year. If you are an Angel Reese fan, you should be deeply, genuinely worried about the trajectory of her early career. If you are a Chicago Sky season ticket holder, you have every absolute right to be completely furious with management. And if you are simply a neutral basketball observer who genuinely wants to see the WNBA continue to globally succeed, this is exactly the kind of toxic front office dysfunction that heavily anchors the league down. So, I am turning the ultimate question over to you. Should the Chicago Sky completely admit defeat and trade Angel Reese to a competent franchise that actually knows how to build a roster? Or does she need to stubbornly stay and try to fix this broken organization from the inside out? Drop your most honest, unfiltered thoughts down in the comments below. And if you want real, hard-hitting WNBA analysis that actually breaks down the business behind the basketball, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now.